A triumphant life, a hero's life, being God's close associate, comrade, God's instrument, a friend, a brother, related to God in some way, in a very close contact. How to become related to God? Or can we become a relative of God? How to become closest to God? I cannot do that. God has to do it. So, how does God choose me? How does God come close to me? Are you a good person? That's it. Most of us have lamented in life that we were not clever enough, we were not intelligent enough, we didn't hustle enough, and so on and so forth. Those people who cut corners and did this or that, they became more successful. I wish if I did that, or I had some of those qualities, I would be more successful. In short term, that may appear so. For that matter, even in long term, it may appear so. In a relative long term in a person's life. The question here is, what does God look for in me and you and all of us? Only one thing. If you are a good person, you don't have to look for God. God is looking for you. You don't have to come to God. God will come to you. That is God's assurance. It is not God's promise, it is God's desire. God is looking for 1 in a million good people. God is not looking for so-called spiritual people, religious people, godly people, whatever that means to each one of us. If you look at the essence of all religions, it boils down to one or two things. And for me, the most common element in all religion is love, one form or the other. The second is the golden rule. It is not so-called Indian dharma or Pakistani dharma and Russian dharma and American dharma or German dharma. There is only one dharma. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is enough. Because each person's preferences and likes and dislikes, both individual and cultural and demographic, is unique. So we cannot apply a particular religious rule from a particular religion, from a particular land, from a particular time, and then say, well, how do we map or measure the behavior of people according to a particular rule, according to that? Instead, it is to each one and for each one. And when each one of us does that, this world instantaneously turns into God's land. And golden rule is not difficult to either understand or practice. It doesn't require a huge amount of sacrifice or understanding of scriptures or difficult in any way. It is within reach. How difficult it is that if I like chai of a certain type, I can offer the same to somebody else. Not very difficult. I don't have to learn how to make a different type of chai or even procure that material from somewhere else. I'm already doing it. Anyway, so how difficult it is to share that with somebody else. That is why in seva or service, you should give the same quality of food and clothing that you would choose for yourself or your kids. If you choose to wear new clothes, then offer new clothes to people who you wish to serve. People who you wish to serve. If you choose to eat clean, nutritious meals, offer the same to others. If you choose to be respected by others, then respect others. If you choose to be loved, then love others. So on and so forth. Not difficult at all. We can start right now. Anybody, everybody, at any stage of life. And how difficult it is to love. Is it more difficult to love or is it more difficult to hate? Is it more difficult to love or more difficult to get angry? Is it more difficult to love or more difficult to get envious? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. And honestly, just choose love. It's easy, it's accessible. I love me.